Shalom Akyam Kahala Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Kakadash. I want to proceed this lesson with giving double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. In this lesson, I'm going to be going into the spirits made for vengeance, So, like, all these mass shootings going on and all this killing going on, what happened over there in Nigeria in that Catholic church, all that is, it's judgment ultimately from the Most High, Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai. He's starting with the house of Israel, that's where judgment is going to begin at. So I'm going to first go into the book of Sirach 39 and 28. The book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as the book of Sirach. Just give you more clarification on that. Sirach 39 and 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fear lay on strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. So all this judgment, is going all around, as we can see in the time now. It's a lot of killing out here. There's a lot of death. Ultimately, there's still more death coming, though. This ain't even the tip of the iceberg, So it's like, who knows how much death more is going to be coming, We can only speculate and see what's going on now, but we know, greater destruction is coming. So, this is Salakia. Ezekiel 9 and 6. It says, slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children. So we see what happened over there at the school in Uvalde, Texas, They killed how many? I'm not sure how many they killed, but that dude, that transformer, whatever it was, went up in that school and started blasting shit up. Ultimately, it's that's judgment because, he's gonna slay old and young, both maids and little children. Even babies, they're gonna pass away, and ultimately, death. Death is coming to, Babylon the Great, aka America. We're only seeing the beginning of it, though. It says, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, the Tawah, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they begin at the ancient men which were before the house, So Yahweh Yahshua is not going to touch the men of the Lord, but come not near any man upon who is the mark, the mark of exemption. So he's going to keep us safe in those days, in those days that are to come, and begin at my sanctuary. He's going to keep us safe. We just got to, have the faith, and ultimately the faith is a gift, It's not just given to anybody, So if you have this gift, that's truly a blessing, because mostly Jakes in this world, shit, they got faith in they, they rap music, they money. Shit, they be worrying about these hoes. Shit, these hoes is already just ran through, they're already jumping from men to men. They talking back to the men, thinking like they niggas and shit, but not at the end of the day, they got to be put in their place. So, they be having them different personalities from different men, because they be sleeping with, dick hopping so much. So, anyways, going back to the subject, slay utterly old and young, So a lot of death is coming to the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and it's starting at the house of Israel. So, here, let me get that real quick. Don't want to butcher it or anything. Shall start. The house of Israel. All right, let's see. Okay, this is Salakia. Service is acting up a little bit. Okay, this is 1 Peter 4 and 17. For the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of God, Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai. And if it begin first at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of God, Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai? So that's just clarification that it's going to start with us, And I'm going to go into Job 4:7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off, So we got to remember, the people just don't die because they're so-called innocent. No, because, you never know what they did in their past lives, At the end of the day, it's just judgment, because reincarnation, again, is biblical, So whatever they done in their past lives, it's ultimately judgment for them, and it's just the way that the Most High has it arranged, So, nobody is innocent in a sense, so-called speak, because we all have past lives, and we went off, So it's not for no reason. Basically, is what the point that I'm trying to make. It's for a reason. It's judgment ultimately. That's the reason. It says Hebrews 10:31. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God, the living power. It's a scary thing to fall into the hands of the living power, man. I was watching some videos and shit, Shit, people died in the worst ways imaginable, the most gruesome ways imaginable. A car, working on a car, lifted up on the rack, that shit gonna fall on top of you, that's harsh judgment. Getting shot in your stomach, watching your intestines fall out of your stomach, your shit just bleeding out. Ultimately, it's crazy, the way the Most High is going to bring death and destruction to this place, In the time of Jacob's trouble, you never know. So you might see your little kid get shot in the head or something, So you gotta ask the Lord for that, a cold spirit, 'Cause we really got to pray and fast on having the strength to be going through that, Ultimately, the faith that we're going to be okay in those days because, shit, the flesh, sometimes the flesh, be thinking about shit like that. So you got to ask the Most High, Yahweh Shem outside, put that cold spirit on you. You might see your Eve getting ravaged in front of you. You never know what it might be. So, I just wanted to hit that little lesson. The spirit's made for vengeance. So hopefully the hopeful elect were edified. I'm going to say shalom.